actually in litigation. And so if anybody on this call would like the matrix of the HAMP and HAFA, HAMP and HAFA, as well as the Fannie Freddie lookalike, I have a form, and I don't charge anything for the form, but it will be a matrix that you could put on your desk with all the guidelines right there. And if anybody would like that, you can just email me at info, I-N-F-O, at bobmcmanusgroup.com, and just request the matrix, and I'll email that right back to you. I'd be more than happy to do that for anybody on this call.
Information. I'll definitely be giving you an email requesting that.
And also, in case people weren't able to write it down, if you're driving and listening on the call, that email is also on the flyer, the Power Is Now, that should have came to you in your email. So if you weren't able to write it down, it'll be available on the flyer as well.
Okay, so getting into one of our other topics, how are we going to get HAMP and HAFA to send us referrals?
Well, what we're going to do is, for the bank referrals on those HAMP and HAFA, what the banks are beginning to do is, once you've been on their approved list, and this is why getting into the REO business is very, very important, and you do that right. I have a program that I do where you're in it in 60 to 90 days, and it's guaranteed you'll be in it in 60 to 90 days. When there are many people that do not have a real estate agent that go directly to the bank, their bank that they're dealing with, to try to do a loan modification. Mm-hmm. And if they are unsuccessful on the loan modification and can't afford the property, they've got to sell the house.
Right.
So now there's nobody there representing the property, the seller is an agent right now, so the bank has to go to their approved list of agents to use. And what list do you need to be on to get that to get those listings? You either need to be on the bank's approved list of REO agents, or the bank's approved list of successful of short sale agents. So when you do a transaction, you close a transaction with them. Remember, we're going to ask them, what is the policy? I'm sorry, when I get, if I get another short sale with your companies, do I go back through you, or do I just go back into the rotation? When they say, no, you come back directly to me, you're also going to ask them to put you on the short sale approval list. And that way, for instance, if you're an REO agent, you have city designations and you have zip code reservation or designations. So once you get on their internal list, that's the way to do it. So you either have to have a contact inside the bank on a successful short sale that you did with the locksmith officer. They can get you on the list, or be an approved REO agent. And either way, you will then be on their list of approved agents for the banks to then send you listings. It is a very simple process, but it does take some time to do.
When you do things successfully, your benefits come back to you. So it's a great example of how you can get some benefits coming back to you by doing these things correctly.
Absolutely. I could tell you one of the greatest advantages that you are ever going to have in dealing with the bank is always be polite to the people that you're dealing with on the bank. If you go into a loss mitigation officer's office, it's horrible. They have, and most of them are nice people. They've got people yelling at them all day long.
Right.
And so if you're a real estate agent and you are doing a transaction with the bank, please make sure that you're always polite to them when you talk to them on the phone or when you leave them a message. Because if not, your goose is cooked.
Right.
Because nobody wants to work with somebody that's mean. And they get messages all the time on their voicemail. The locksmith officers have anywhere from 300 to 400 files that they deal with. So before they start work in the morning, they're going to listen to their answer machine from the night before, and they're going to have 5 or 10 messages that sound just like this. Hi, this is Bob from ABC Realty. Now, as soon as I start off the conversation like that, the file's just been canceled.
Yeah, delete.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter how good the file looks, you can have graphs, charts. You know what I mean? This could be the person's spouse that's in a short sale, and they are not going to get approved. Why? The agent is rude.
Yeah.
Always make sure that when you're dealing with the banks, whoever it is, that you are very extremely polite. You know, we're not going to honey sweetie them or try. Have you ever done this before or had somebody that met you and they try to be your friend too quick? We don't want to do that. We just want to be normal and be polite to the people on the phone. They are just doing their job.
Right. Well, at this time, we're going to get the queue ready for questions. So, operator, can you open the lines for questions at this time?
No problem, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question or comment at this time, please press star then one on your touch-tone telephone.
Thank you. And while questions are getting queued up, you mentioned earlier grave consequences. You want to expound on that, Bob?
Yes. Thank you for doing that. There's two consequences here. Number one, if we don't, on that 4506 form, if we put on there, if we let them go on those 2 to 3 year, those 2003 or 2004 tax returns, that is a huge consequence to the seller. Here's the other thing that's a major consequence. Some of the people that get short sales through that fly under the radar, and people have liquid assets, because some people are able to get things through when they've got liquid assets of $50,000 or more, and they're just trying to get out of the obligation. Make sure you read that contract, because if you show that you have $50,000 or more, be it a 401k, a retirement, or anything else like that, after the short sale is done, if you don't get a full release and a full satisfaction, that debt collector can come after you for those assets. And when they approve short sale and they see the ones with assets, the banks do put those in a different category. So although some of those people might think that they got away with it, after 2012, they're going to be up for a rude awakening. This will end up with litigation on that agent. So short sales are they are a way out for some people. They are good for some people. They are a large part of the market right now. So you have to do them. You can make a great living on them, but you have to make sure that you do them right. And what I see too many people, I hear this all the time, agents say, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That is unacceptable. If we're going to get paid a commission, we have to know everything about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because some people we're just going to tell, don't even do a short sale, let it go.
Right.
Or I won't do the short sale for you, go talk to an attorney. And that way you've done what you need to do to help them. But make sure it's not just that you get the short sale approved. Read the fine print. Read the entire contract. And if you do that, you will completely cover yourself. And most importantly, let's get that client taken care of.
And good tips out there for agents who, in this type of business, you do need to protect yourself, and you protect yourself with knowledge and knowing, what's going on. So at this time, operator, are there any questions?
Yes, we do have a question, and it comes from the line of Jamie. Your line is open.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Jamie.
Yeah, I have a confusing second story. So what I know, I think what I study is that now if you go through HAFA program, we don't have any deficiency amount from the lender. And does that mean that if the second case, I know the first, but the second is the case that the lender say you are full release from the liability,
yes.
That means he doesn't have any income tax liability.
Right. If you've got a first and a second, under the new guidelines, the new law that went into effect says that the lender can no longer charge a deficiency judgment on the first mortgage. Now, the second, especially if it's a home equity line of credit, they can. But let's understand that's a technicality, because the way that the lenders write the approvals now states that congratulations, your short sale has been approved. You owe us $150,000. We've agreed to take $5,000 now. And then on page 2, they say that they can come after you for up to 10 years for the remaining balance of the loan. You see now, with the verbiage that they've used, it's now no longer a deficiency judgment. What you have done and what the seller have done is authorize them to basically rewrite the terms of the loan. And so it no longer falls under deficiency judgment. So this is why one thing that will cause it all to go away is if you just ask them for a full release and a full satisfaction. That way you are completely covered to the verbiage that they have in there.
Then the client, as a seller, they don't have to worry about paying taxes.
They don't have to worry about paying taxes. They don't have to worry about anything coming back to haunt them for up to 10 years.
Okay.
And so they're completely off of the hook.
I thought that whenever they approve by HAFA and then the lender says you have a zero balance as a second trustee, then you don't have to worry about it because they say you have a zero balance.
No.
But
if you actually look at one of a specific bank, I don't know how much leeway I have to say about banks on this, so I'm very, very careful with that. But they'll put in there, the bank may pursue a deficiency judgment. So they're not saying that they will. They're saying they may pursue a deficiency judgment unless, and this is the verbiage that they put, unless prohibited by state law or otherwise agreed in writing. And because they've got it on there that this is not a deficiency, you have to ask us to agree to this in writing. So it is no longer then a deficiency. It's the loan terms have been renegotiated. It is a what's the right word? It's just a way of using words to manipulate. Okay. So this is why you always have to ask for a full release and full satisfaction.
So
that
you
way
that?
You don't have to worry about it. Yes, and
so
they will always do
that,
it.
and they will send you another letter that you'll be full.
Yep, they will send you an amended letter saying that, and they will delete and all, and they would be happy to do it. Okay. But if you don't catch it, then that's just going to be more money for them somewhere down the road.
All right.
So they'll be more than happy to delete the whole thing from the contract. But you have to ask them. Otherwise, it's now no longer a deficiency. All they did was renegotiate the term. So, for instance, if I said, you know what, you owe me $200, but you know what, I'll take $100. Just give me $100. That loan term has been renegotiated.
Right.
Yes? Mm-hmm. So now I can come after you for that $100. And so that's all it is they're renegotiating the term. So this is why and the verbiage is very important. Full release and full satisfaction gives everybody the ultimate protection.
Right. I mean, let me ask you another question. If they say no deficiency, then they say the lender say you don't have any deficiency judgment in first and deficiency amount on first and second. If you have that agreement in writing, what else they have to be after, or the client has a liability to file a 1099 or to income tax?
Well, if the lender states in writing that you will have no deficiency, then you are okay.
Okay.
If they put in there that verbiage in your approval, and some of them do, then you don't have to worry about full release and full satisfaction because they're telling you right there, no deficiency.
Already.
And for taxes, they'll still get a 1099, but it's a 1099-C, which is basically 1099 cancel. So it's being submitted to the government, to the IRS, but it's it's basically useless. But it has to be shown.
Okay.
But if they put in your approval that there is no deficiency, then you're fine.
All righty. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for your question, Jamie. Next question, operator.
And it looks like our next question comes from the line of Jennifer. Your line is open.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, ladies. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And Bob, the information has been absolutely